dignitaries that join us here today. And if I miss your name, please send it up. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Am I ever happy to be here with Governor Cuomo, whose leadership and whose enthusiasm on this issue I highly appreciate. Am I ever happy to be here with our county executive, Mr. Mangano? Am I ever happy to be here with other political leaders who are with us on this pivotal issue? Am I ever happy to be here with the rabbi who reminds us that this is far from just a Catholic issue, but all religions are none at all who are devoted to our children? Am I ever happy to be here with the press, because that means there's a lot of interest and our word is going to get out? But I am most of all happy to be here with you students who are in our schools, because this is all about you. We love you, we cherish you, you are our greatest treasure, and this is all about keeping the schools that do such a splendid job strong, affordable, and accessible. You love your schools, you appreciate your schools, you don't want them to close, you want more kids to be able to come there, and that's all going to be accomplished with our education investment tax credit. So students, we love you, and we're doing this for you. We love your teachers, we love your principals, we love your parents and grandparents and those who chip in to keep our schools going. You're given an excellent education, and you know when something's logical or not. This bill, this initiative that the governor's working so hard with, in union with our Republican leaders, in union with other Democrats, in union with Bishop Murphy, the bishop out here who's such an enthusiastic backer, and if he weren't in Washington, D.C. today on another important issue, would be here with us. This issue is so logical and so compelling. It's going to cost nobody anything. It's not going to take any money away from our public schools. In fact, it's going to help them as well. And all it's going to do is give us a level playing field as it encourages other people to be generous to these schools that are working. So students, when I get discouraged, and as the rabbi hinted at, there's been reason in the past to be discouraged. When I'm about ready to give up, all I have to do is visit one of our schools and see you, and I know it's all worthwhile. Thank you.
Here for Cardinal Dolan.
Now please give a warm welcome to Stephen Portillo.
He resides in Unionville, and he's an 8th grade student at St. Bridget's.
Just a little too small. Hi, they invited me to my story today, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll start by telling you my name. I'm Stephen. I'm from Unionville, and I'm currently an 8th grade student at St. Bridget Our Lady of Hope Regional School. I've been in Catholic school for the past 10 years of my life, since kindergarten, and I really enjoy going to St. Bridget because this school is just so active and involved in its community, and there's really something there for everybody. My education is especially important to my Salvadorian parents who come from very humble beginnings, and they believe that quality education is what's going to give me an opportunity to succeed and to follow my dreams in the future. They took a liking to St. Bridget's because it's small enough so that the teachers can focus on me and my personal growth, but I still get to be part of a whole school community and expand on other abilities besides my studies. My father's also very fond of the Catholic way of teaching, and in these schools you really just learn how to be a good person. They teach you a lot of values. They teach you just how to be a good person. And St. Bridget's has really helped me grow as an individual, and I feel like I've established a personality here, and I feel like it's a good one. And the school, it really gives me a freedom to express my creativity there. It's a really good school. Because my parents were able to choose St. Bridget's, I'm ready for the next big thing in my life. I'm going up to high school next year. I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful that I got this opportunity. My parents, they worked so hard. It's been very hard because when I was in kindergarten, We didn't initially have the funds to put me through a complete schooling, a complete private school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and they were reasonably worried. But through hard work and determination, especially from my mother and my father, we're here now, and I stand before you about to graduate from 8th grade, and I'm so happy. And a few years ago, my brother was born, and the load doubled. With him, it tripled, but you know. But the truth is that I'm just so grateful for this. And another truth is that not everyone gets this lucky. Not everyone is so fortunate as I was. And I really hope that everyone else gets an opportunity like I did. And by passing this bill, we could really give this opportunity to these people. There's a lot of people out there that need an education and that are willing to go through it and very happily. And by passing this bill, we could open the doors of a quality education for lots of people that are in my situation. So to the legislators in Albany, please hear us out this year. Please help us pass this bill. And I'd like to introduce now someone who's standing up for hundreds of kids like me, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
And how about that Stephen Portillo? He's smooth and special. I think, I'm going to make a prophecy right now, pardon the pun, Your Eminence and Rabbi. I think Stephen Portillo has a career in politics. Just don't run against me, Stephen. The County Executive Ed Mangano, let's give him a big round of applause. Rabbi Cupcake, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for your beautiful words, Rabbi. Cardinal Dolan, His Eminence, who's coming to New York, and he really is a New Yorker, isn't he? Let's give him a round of applause. I have been on many stages with many illustrious guests, but this is a really different kind of stage for me. And if anything, it shows the breadth of support for this issue. County Executive Ed Mangano happens to be a Republican. I happen to be a Democrat. We both support the education tax credit, Democratic and Republican. Cardinal Dolan, Rabbi Cupcake, Old Testament, New Testament, also support the education tax credit. This is not about politics. It's not about religion. It's about fairness. And it's about choice, and it's about opportunity. And it really is very simple at the end of the day. The greatest thing we can do is to make sure we leave this place a better place for our children. And the easiest and best way to do that is to make sure they get the best education we can give them. At the end of the day, education is the gift we give our children. Education is the gift that we give the next generation. And the question is, who is going to make the decision about the child's education? Who is going to decide where and what type? And should it be a religious or should it be public school? And our point is that decision should remain with the parents. And the parents should have those options. My parents chose to send me to parochial school. The religious education was very important to my parents. My father, God rest his soul, was also of the impression that I had certain challenges when it came to the area of discipline and self-control. He believed that the nuns could help me work through this issue of discipline and self-control. He was right in his diagnosis. I set the record for the most detentions ever from 1st through 8th grade. What's the record that I held? I actually spent double the amount of time most students spent in school, given the detentions. And I have a certain number of bodily scars that I carry to this day to show the nun's good efforts. But he was right in his diagnosis, so I went to St. Gerard's Magella parochial school in Hollis, Queens for 8 years. Then went to Catholic High School, Archbishop Malloy in Queens. Then went to the Jesuits, Fordham University. So I am a product of parochial school education. That was my parents' choice. I made a different choice with my 3 girls. We sent them to public elementary school in Westchester. It was a good public school. It was a good district. And that was the choice that I made. So there is no right or wrong choice. That's not what we're saying. We're saying who should make the choice and who should have the choice, and we're saying it's the parents. But to have a choice means you need to have options. If you have no options, then you have no choice. What does that mean? I want to send my child to parochial school. Then the parochial school has to exist. My school, St. Gerard Magella, is closed. Why? They couldn't afford it. You turn on the news any given night, you'll hear about Catholic schools closing, Catholic schools merging, Jewish schools closing. Why? Because they can't afford to stay open. Well, then how do you have a choice to send your child to a religious elementary school if they don't exist? You took that choice from the parents. So to have a choice, those schools have to exist. To have the choice, you have to be able to afford those schools. And that's very hard. The economy is very tight. People are paying taxes for public schools. And then if you want to send your child to a private school or a religious school, you have to pay the tuition on top of that. And parents say this is very hard. The economy is hard, number one. Number two, I'm already paying taxes, and the taxes are going up, and up. Not under me, by the way. I want you to know the taxes are going down since I became governor all across the board. Thought I would just throw that in. But taxes are very high, and then you have to pay tuition on top of the taxes. And this made the burden very, very hard. Teachers in public schools will tell you they're not getting the money for the supplies, etc. So we want to propose a law. We want Albany to pass it. It has been proposed before. It failed before because the political forces in Albany that are protecting the bureaucracy don't want to see this happen. But we're going to work harder than ever before to get it passed. And what the law does, the education tax credit, is very simple. Tax credits for donations to religious organizations so they can pay for scholarships for low and middle income students who can't afford religious school. That's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is it gives parents who pay taxes and then pay public school tuition a tax credit for part of the tuition they pay to the private school or religious school if they are low-income parents. So it gives them some of that tuition back, so it makes it more affordable. And the last thing it does for public school teachers who literally are paying out of their own pocket for supplies and for help in the classroom, it gives public school teachers and private school teachers $200 per year to pay for supplies for students who can't afford them. That's what the education tax credit does. It gives parents the real choice, and it gives them real options, and it keeps religious schools open, and it makes it affordable for parents who are low and middle income. And that, to me, is inarguable. Democratic, Republican, Catholic, Jewish, whatever your religion, whatever your party ideology. Education is the priority. Parents have the right to make the decision, and you need a real choice. And in this economy, you need help to make that real choice financially possible. It makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world. And but for the politics in Albany, it would have passed. As my daughters say, it's a no-brainer. This is just a no-brainer. But sometimes just being right isn't enough. And there's a lot of political opposition to this in Albany, and that's why we're here today, because we need your help. You ever hear the expression, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? My father used to say it. I'm not sure what it means anyway, but he said it all the time, so I like to repeat it. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, because when he said it with authority, and everybody said, oh yes, that's right. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. It means those who make noise get the attention. And the reason this hasn't passed in the past years is because the supporters did not make enough noise. You know when democracy works? When you make your voice heard. That's when democracy works. So our message to you today is simple. This is right, this is smart, we need you engaged to pass this law. There's 1 month left in the legislative session. Politicians are listening. They listen to what the people back home want. Politicians who don't hear what the people back home want are not politicians for long. You have to speak up. You have to go to your assemblyman, you have to go to your senator and say, we want the education tax credit passed this year. Don't come home without it. It's right, it's fair, it's education, it's our children, it's our choice, and that's what this Education Act is all about. It's the essence of New York, it's the essence of America, it's freedom of religion, the best education, because that will determine your future. If you speak up, this will pass. We need you to go first. Thank you and God bless you.
Let's hear it for Governor Cuomo, Cardinal Dolan, Rabbi Kupchak, Stephen Portillo, the Yes We Can Center. But most important, the Education Investment Tax Credit. Let's let our voice be heard,
And let's help education.
God bless you, God bless America.